and welcome to yet another episode of This is Rico trying to heal my inner child. I'd like to start this episode by reminding everyone that I am not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, and I am not a medical professional in any way. Just a regular person trying to navigate through life and try to navigate what's going on in here because it's still a mess. It's better, but it's still a mess. So, in this episode, I would like to get back to my mid 20s, 23, 24, 25. Um, right out of high school, I moved furniture and I did that for a long time. And I really can't remember why it came to an end. I think I just got tired of it and I tried finding another job somewhere else and that didn't work. So I ended up finding a job at the mall and it was all right. Working at the mall was quite fun. It can be for a early 20s guy who's single and walking around and just flirting with all the girls, with all the women. And the only downside was pay was crap, absolute crap. And once again, I found myself in a situation where, I was willing to do more and asked for a little bit more and was just turned down. Like, be happy with what you got was their attitude. It was the same stuff. The favorites, you had your favorites, and then the rest of us were just, nothing. We had to do our jobs, but we were nothing. But during that time, I made a friend. Now, when I say friend, this person was all right, but not really. One of those types of people that just had to say something sarcastic and rude all the time, no matter what it was. You never really seem to hear a nice thing come out of this person's mouth. But, the hurtful, sarcastic, jokes about your appearance, about your, intelligence, everything. But this person had a significant other that was pretty cool. And that person had a lot of really cool friends. So once I kind of started hanging out with that group, because they had parties quite regularly, it was all right, except for this one friend. It was quite unpleasant to be around at times. But everybody else was pretty cool, and there are people that I'm still friends with now. No, nobody lives here anymore. We're still in touch on social media like everyone else. It's all right, some of my friends. And the parties were fun. One time we went down to the Indianapolis 500, 15 of us in one room. Imagine that. And we didn't even go to the race. We just went there for the party outside of the race because there's a huge party out there. We took advantage of it. And still living at my parents' house and drive down to Cedar Lake and go hang out at the bars down there. And it was kind of a long drive. So usually I would just try to stay at his house. If I was drinking, I just would spend the night and go home in the morning. Although I didn't do it every time. There were times where I drove home and I shouldn't have, but I did. So I'm pretty fortunate to, have not had anything bad happen back then in that regard. But yeah, even then, I still just felt like a bit player, just an extra in the background. Not that I really needed to matter, but I just felt like I didn't matter. And I enjoyed the time that we did have together. We all, as a group, but I was just felt like someone tagging along. But I'm going to take a quick break and I'll be back with a little more of This is Rico trying to heal my inner child. Welcome back to This is Rico trying to heal my inner child. Getting back to the subject of my mid 20s and more specifically my time with, friends. And it was a big bunch of guys and a handful of women, and we all hung out and got along. It was nice to not have the competitiveness with these guys. These guys were all just willing to get along and hell, give you a pat on the back if you need it. And nobody was fighting over anything with these guys. Not that, I just mean that figuratively. But, once in a while it was still there. Depended on the company, depending on who's around. But more often than not, it was just, easygoing. And I can't help how I feel about things. But the whole time I was hanging out with these guys, I just felt like it was a transitionary friendship, holding me over to something else. But I didn't know what. I didn't know what was coming. But I didn't feel like this was it. This didn't feel like, you know, like it was just holding me over until something else. Something else was coming, and I couldn't shake that feeling. Although, again, I did enjoy the time we all hung out, enjoyed the bars, enjoyed meeting, different people all over. But during this time, I was also playing in bar bands, in a bar band. And, I met another friend at my job in the mall, and he was he had some original music, and then he was like playing with the top 40 bar bands, the shit bands is what you want to call it, I guess. That's what I kind of call it. And we were playing like every weekend, just about. So that was fun. That was fun too. But I mean, we never really seemed to get to play the same place twice. We never really went anywhere because we were just playing covers. Um, I did record an entire CD with this friend, and it was okay. It was okay. It was fun. I loved getting in the studio. I loved whenever I could get a chance to do something like that. There's two different bands that I got into studios with, and it was quite the experience. I liked it a lot. And during this time, also, I should mention that my younger brother was tagging along all the time, whenever he could. Whenever he could. And he was quite honestly more trouble than he was worth. I had to babysit this guy in his 20s. He's only, let's just say, 2 years younger than me. But I had to babysit him. I had to make sure he was okay. I had to make sure he wasn't, choking on vomit or whatever. I had to clean up his puke quite a few times just so we wouldn't get yelled at. I had to, oh my gosh. He would drink and he would just turn into a different person, and I had to babysit. And that was frustrating. And he never did anything like that for me. He was never there for me. He was just always expecting to be taken care of. But he was never, ever, ever had any intentions of returning it. There was no reciprocation. It was always take with him. Take what he could, grab it, get what he could. And he didn't care about anybody in the process, as long as he got what he wanted. And at the time, again, with my mindset, this is all there is. Shitty bar band, group of friends where they were pretty cool. So I'm not knocking that, but my job was garbage. And again, I just kept telling myself that this is all there is. I'll be back with a little more. This is Rico trying to heal my inner child. and welcome back to This is Rico trying to heal my inner child. Sorry about that abrupt ending. I just happened to see that I was at like 4 minutes and 50 seconds, and you only get 5 minutes, and it was going to cut me off. So I figured I'll do a speedy stop and then I'll continue on with the next segment. So, welcome back. And thank you for being here. I appreciate all of you and I appreciate your support. Getting back to my mid 20s, getting back to my friends, my shitty job, my little tag along brother didn't give a shit about anybody except for himself. Um, you know, I did meet a lot of interesting people at that time. I kind of wish I had branched out myself and tried to meet more. But at the same time, like I said, sometimes you think this is it, this is all we get, and you just go with the flow with whatever the group is doing. And, you know, playing at bars, it's fun and not fun at the same time, if that makes any sense. Imagine, I'm sure people have seen the meme, whether it's a picture of a drummer and it says plays in a bar band or plays in a cover band on the top, and then on the bottom it says hates every song. It was kind of like that. We did a lot of things. I didn't really get to input a lot as far as the musical direction of the band because the limitations of the singer and his playing. He was very limited. I don't mean it to. I'm not trying to badmouth him at all. He's talented with what he does, but as far as covering other people's music and singing styles, wasn't his strong suit. Just put it like that. Was not his strongest feature. If anything, he would have been an excellent manager because he's the one that got the gigs. He's the one that dealt with the stupid bar owners. So, stuff I didn't want to do. I didn't want to do that. I don't want to talk to these people. I just want to go play and make some money. But, and again, I'm not saying this was the worst, but I settled and just thought, okay, this is all there is. Didn't really look for anything else. Didn't really want to. I sometimes when you just get used to things, you just get accustomed to it. You accept it and say, hey, this is how it is. This is how it is. And it doesn't have to be like that. You don't have to accept things. You don't have to just take it in because it's happening. You have the power. You can change things. I totally could have gone and looked for other people to hang out with, looked for other bands to play with, got a different job. I was at this dumb job for like 5 years and I didn't make hardly any money at it. And, I totally could have tried and got something better. But the mindset, all the years of being told that I'm dumb, being told that I'll never amount to anything, being told that I'm not good enough, I accept what I get and just accept it. Not really considering that I'm not saying I'm not better than anybody, but I am better at some things than I am at other things, and some things I'm better at than some people. And that doesn't make me better than them, but I might be better at one thing than these people, same people might be better at something than I am. And that's just how the way of life. And you accept it and you just accept it. We're not all here to do everything. We're here to live and do what's right for us. But I'm going to take a real quick break and I'll be back with the conclusion of this episode of This is Rico trying to heal my inner child. Hello and welcome back to this episode of This is Rico trying to heal my inner child. Just going to conclude this video with, a little more, touchdown on a little more, because very, 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 very soon at this point, my life is going to change quite dramatically. So this is kind of just calm before the storm. I don't know. I don't want to call it that, but what do you guys think of my beard? Let me know in the comments if you like it, because I'm going to shave it off because it is annoying as heck. It's too much. It itches. It's crazy. It's prickly. And just wondering, what's your opinion on it? Do I look better with it or without it? Just curious, because I'm going to take it off anyway. But anyway, I'd like to get back to this episode. Finishing up, playing in dive bars, hanging out with friends in dive bars, dragging my little brother around because he had nothing better to do. It was interesting times. But again, I look back and I think I could have done better. And I'm not talking about like my friends, the people, because they were awesome. They were really awesome. But I mean, I could have branched out and maybe found other friends, and then maybe we could have brought those friends together, something, I don't know. The same thing with the job. I could have just looked for another job. I could have found another job. I was good enough to do another job. I believed what everyone told me and just kind of took it for what it was. And it was okay for the time, because I didn't really have too many responsibilities because I still lived at home. So I didn't need that much money, even though it was taken and stored from me, for me, whatever. It was an interesting time. And this is right before I meet my future ex-wife, because I meet her through this group. And she was like a friend of a friend and just happened to come around. And I don't know, we hit it off like right away. But that is another story. That is a upcoming video. Yeah, I don't know how much more I want to say about this. I loved music, but I was playing in this bar band and it felt like a chore. It felt like work. It felt like, it wasn't as fun. Go out and lug all your equipment and play for all this time, and just for people to give you attitude and a handful of coins. It wasn't that much money. Could have been better. And again, I could have taken the initiative and looked for better places for us to play. But at the same time, I think to myself, this is as good as this band is going to be. We're not good enough to play here or there. And it's, because of me listening to other people, and it's still telling me that I'm not worthy or able or good enough. Those roots run real deep. They really do. So I think I had something else I wanted to say here, and I can't remember what it was. So I'm going to end this video here. Once again, coming soon will be a few more videos, and I'm just going to keep doing these for as long as I can. Even if I go through into my entire life and get to now, I have plenty of stories. I got plenty of experiences. I got plenty of stuff to talk about and analyze. But that's for another episode. But for now, I'd like to thank you again for your support. I'd like to thank you for you being you. Thank you. I appreciate you. So I will be back with another episode very soon of This is Rico trying to heal my inner child.